Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, the last trading day of the week, in this first week of December. For a really what's been a very interesting week to start off the month of December. Um, we got the today's pre-market insight. All right, so looking at the economic outlook, you see, this I'm kind of doing this early. It's just now. Well, it's about we coming up into 6:30. Now I want to make sure to get this out early because we have the let me move my tea out the way. We have we got the unemployment rate at 8:30. So something that could move the markets a little bit. Leading up to the bell. So want to make sure everybody's aware of that. So I need to stop saying so. Other than that, nothing's really going on. Just the normal headlines about some reactions to crude oil and you know the reactions to the I would say indecisive trading of yesterday. But crypto is in the news today, so let's go check that out. Saying it's now 90% from record highs. So let's go see what crypto is doing before we get into the Nasdaq. We're just gonna look at BTC, not the futures, but all right. So just to get an idea of what's going on, we're just gonna look at Bitcoin. All right. So looking at the daily, yeah, that is a pretty significant drop there. Um, we just turned over here from we had this S curve. We see we have the now one of the things I don't really I don't really see well is like a lot of people point out like ABC patterns and all that stuff, but what I do pay attention to is these S curves. So we traded down, we had some pullback, and then we rolled back over. So I mean, I'm not sure why because I haven't looked at Bitcoin in a while, so I'm not sure exactly why I have that support there. Let me look left and see what I can see. Why I would have drawn that support in that area. All right, so I guess that was some decent support at back here in a little more than a year ago. We broke that area, like maybe it was an area of resistance, and what we did have this tweezer bottom here that we bounced off of, and before the big pop. So I guess that's why I put that support there. We did trade into that support, and it's kind of had a little halt there, so we could definitely bounce um, at that support. I can definitely see us hanging around the support area for a while. But if we do break it, I say within like today or um, the next few days, I think that could indicate some continuation bearish. Um, for me, I'm just I only have money that I don't really. I have extra money that I'm not really concerned about losing in Bitcoin, and that's all I'm doing with crypto right now. Um, I mentioned it before. I was able to catch this ride here, and that was really by accident. Because I purchased some Bitcoin. Let me see. Let me see if I can get it up. I believe it was sometime here in 2016. I purchased some Bitcoin, or was it 2017? Uh, I got some Bitcoin back here. Sometime I can't remember. It was sometime in 2016. I was going watching some YouTube videos, and the rabbit hole led me to Bitcoin somehow. I don't even remember how I initially heard about Bitcoin, but I heard about it and I looked it up and I did some research and you know, it looked interesting. So my idea was, you know, let me just um, see what this thing does. You know, so I went ahead and bought some Bitcoin, and I set it and I forgot about it. And then before, like around in this time, um, actually it was after that because I know that I looked at it and it was up 800 points. I mean 800% from where I bought it at. So it was like towards the end of 2017. So I was pleasantly surprised about that. And then I caught this little nice ride here. Um, if I had a crystal ball or if I had a time machine, I would go out and I would go back and take some out, but I didn't take it out, and I didn't get out up here. I didn't take any out up here. I think if the first time I took some out was on this pop somewhere in this area, and then I got back into it, rolled this up, and but I you know um, I was still kind of learning a lot about the market at the time, and looking at it now, I do not know why when it was up, this extended, why I didn't go ahead and just, take everything that I had in it and just, I don't know why I didn't take the profits back then, that everything that I had invested in it. But anyway, I did catch most of it. I think I took the rest out that I had on some of this pullback here, and I got back in just with money that I had to lose somewhere around in here. Um, and I haven't been watching it since. So, um, as far as this is a weekly chart, we this area here was a pretty significant. Well, it was a pretty strong support area. That we got this little, not even sure, like a flag pattern that it broke through. We sold off into this next area of support. So this as far as the weekly, today will determine what this kind of looks like, but as of right now it looks good to keep going lower. So I wouldn't say that Bitcoin would or any crypto will be going to zero. This is not the only time, of course. This is the only time where Bitcoin has had this significant of a move, but this is not the only time historically that Bitcoin um, had a nice little pop, and then uh, sold off. It was, pretty much quiet for like, more than a year or whatever. And before, we came into this area here, and we had this nice little, I don't know what I would say bubble or whatever. There's a nice little excitement about it um, back towards the end of last year. So I don't know why it only goes back to I don't know when crypto was. Anyway, so that's pretty much it on crypto. I wouldn't, if I was, I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't say this is the time to get in. I will wait and see what happens, and I will be looking for some sort of signal that crypto is either um, trading sideways, kind of like what we have back here in 2015 and 2016, or maybe a sign that we're going that is turning over back bullish. Or I would definitely just I'm just watching Bitcoin for right now and crypto for right now. So anyway, all right, so moving on to the technical analysis for Nasdaq. This is what we're all here for. All right, so on the daily, actually real quick, let's look at yesterday. I was a little frustrated for everyone who follows me on Twitter. If you go check out my Twitter account, same handle at MV3Trader. I posted a comment because once I saw I was done for the day, and then the move that I expected to happened after I decided to go ahead and call it a day. The story of my trading life. So I was a little bit frustrated with this move here because this is the move that I felt like we were going to have some You can see my pre-market insight. I felt like we were going to have some retracement from that massive sell-off at the open of yesterday's future session, and as you know, what's been commonplace for the last couple of weeks or a couple of months in the first in the morning session, for the broader markets, we've had we had the typical choppiness and indecision before it finally decided to take off towards the going into lunch and a little bit more in the afternoon. So um, you know it'd be like that sometimes. It sucks, but it is what it is. So well, I gotta stay. I really want to stay disciplined to my time and not try to chase the different time frames that it could trade in, because it doesn't always happen like that. Sometimes you do. The reason I chose that is because it works good for my schedule, and there are plenty of times where we have significant moves in the morning session um, of the U.S. market hour. So, um, but as far as today, we had a little bit of sell off early in the European market hours, and we're kind of just trading sideways, a little low on energy today. Um, as far as the pre-market volume strength is, I would say is moderate. The only um, the only contract above 100K of volume is CL. That's the F contract for 2019. So everything else, gold is the lightest on volume today, sitting at 46K for right now. So pretty much from how I see it, is a typical Friday. We usually, and then plus with all of the volatility that we've seen for the past couple of days, um, I just realized this is a weekly still. So let's look at the daily. There we go. Now it looks better. Okay. Yeah. So right now we're trading sideways. Not a lot of energy in the markets right now. Um, yeah. So we have a nice little. I lost my train of thought because I realized this that I was on the weekly. I hate that. I don't remember what I was gonna say, but you see we got this nice little channel here on the daily. Actually, I'll move this down a little bit. So I think we can continue trading in this little this range here, or if we have a um, it'll be interesting to see what happens today. Um, it could be I see a lot of resistance here from yesterday's uh, daily candle. Um, highly likely that we have some bulls come back in today, but I wouldn't be looking for a major trend until we pop out of this channel here. Um, but there's even though we're trading in the channel, there would definitely this is a good time. I would say this is a good time for uh, day traders to have a lot of opportunities to make some have some good trades, some quick in and out trades. If you're trying to swing trade this, it'll be a little bit more difficult, but there's plenty of opportunities here. So, all right, so that's the Nasdaq. Moving on to crude oil. As you can see, the volume on the right now was at 224, 224,000. Um, the daily, we're pretty much trading sideways. We were resting after all of this sell-off, um, which kind of makes it seem. I know, like this is in terms of the value of the tick value and the point value. These are pretty significant. These are big moves, but it depends. It just depends on how much money you're trading, what your goals are and everything. But the point is, it kind of makes it with all the headlines, like this headline I'm looking at on investing.com. Crude oil prices slump as OPEC fails to reach a deal. it almost seems like, just looking at the charts, it kind of seems like an over exaggeration. Yeah, we did trade bearish, especially from yesterday, and and today we are slightly bearish. But the way, I don't know if maybe it's just me, but the way the headlines make it look, it makes it seem like we really had a ton of sell off, but it's really comparative, relative to how crude oil typically trades. It's not that big of a move, so that's why you have to be careful with paying attention to the news articles and these different media outlets with their verbiage and the way that they say things. That the reason that they put the stuff like that is so that their only objective is to get eyeballs on their content. That's it. So they got to make it sound, even though this really is not that significant of a move. Yes, you can make a pretty good deal of money in there, but it's nowhere near as significant as, like, maybe this whole move here, or these daily candles, um, like from last month. So um, that's just a side note. So right now, anyway, we're really, overall, we're trading sideways, slightly bearish, just based off what the daily candle looks like. I think we're going to be range bound for um, a while, for a few days or weeks or whatever. So pretty much for the remainder of December, you know. But that's just my, of course, that's just my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. Here we go with gold. We're bouncing bullish in gold, but again, this is on light volume, so we can have a week there. There definitely is a possibility to have a bullish move, but or a significant move um, later on in the day. But as of right now, we're just bullish. Yeah, right now we're bullish up about 4 points. So it's not really, it's not, relative to what I've seen in gold before. That's not that big of a move so far, but it is the pre-market. So looking bullish on gold for the moment. In the euro, pretty much sideways, a lot of volatility. Still, we're really tight in this on the daily chart. We see yesterday we didn't have a lot of action in the euro, so a ton of volatility. I wouldn't be looking for any major moves until we pop out of this this little pennant pattern here. So that's the analysis for the broader markets today, or for the different um, sectors, future sectors that I track. And again, as usual, I'll be trading the Nasdaq. Actually, today I'll be more focused on Sierra charts. I think I'm going to start going back trading back in my live account again. Actually, I am going to start trading back in my live account again starting next week. So I'll be focused more on trading, or my focus will be more towards Sierra charts today, but I will still trade TS Trader. And I hope you guys crush it today. Hope you make a lot of money. Trade smart, make your plan, stick to your plan. Don't take any setups that's not, just be disciplined, and y'all know what to do. And I will see y'all later for the mid-market recap.